Hey everyone, it's Kazanmor here again, and today I just want to show you some cheap but also quite effective ways to level Invention. It was found out through, I think, mostly Reddit and the forums that the main components you need to make weapon gizmos, which are a great way to level, can mostly be gotten from hatchets. So what I did was I found some of the hatchet shops and also some other shops which sell items for reasonable prices, more reasonable than the Grand Exchange. You do have to wait a bit, obviously, because they're NPC shops, but they sell items which relate to weapon gizmos and allow you to get the most bang for your buck. So at the start, I'll be looking at hatchets, which you can get from Bog's Axes in Lumbridge. Everyone knows this store, of course. Basically, what I like to do is buy out down to steel, because below steel you can do iron, but below steel generally you'll get a much higher junk chance, and it's up to you whether you feel that's worth it or not, but personally I do steel. So all you have to do is buy out the store. I'm buying out down to steel, and then disassemble. And there you go, I got some parts. And I'm just going to show you a couple other spots where you can get some good parts. The second stop on our journey brings us to the Grand Tree, the Gnome Tree. I don't know what you guys call it, the Grand Tree, that's what it's called. To Gullik. He's on the second level of the Grand Tree, and he sells battle axes, hatchets, and two-handed swords. So this guy is great. He gives you a bit of everything. Two-handed swords and hatchets are really good. Another shop that sells two-handed swords is Gaius's Two-Handed Shop. This is located in Burthorpe, just above the lodestone, so you can see the lodestone there on the map. And yeah, it's just up here. So this guy you can buy down to black, that's what I do, or steel. The thing about black items is they drop something called a knightly piece. Let's see, knightly component. And they can be used later for special power-ups because they're rare rather than uncommon or common, and they drop them incredibly regularly. Next on the list is Varrock, and this is the last sort of blade shop that I like to go to. This is all personal preference too. There are a couple other shops, but these are the ones that I've been going to. This one sells swords, long swords, and daggers, so it's not as useful for strong components, but it does give other components that you can use in the weapon gizmos. So next up is also in Varrock. We're moving on to armor now. This is melee armor because it gives the strong component, which is arguably the hardest piece to get for the weapon gizmos. Horvik sells plate bodies. I like to buy down to iron plate bodies. I don't know why, it's a quirk. In Alcarid, there's two shops right next to each other, which are really good. There's the skirt shop, owned by Renale, so she sells up to adamant skirts. And then right next to her is Louis Legs, who, you guessed it, sells legs. You can buy out both stores and they'll give the same components as each other because they are just the male and female equivalents. So that's really good because they're so close together. Next up on the list is Zenacia. She is in East Ardenog, just below the marketplace, I guess you call it. And she sells plate bodies. Very simple. You know exactly where she is. In Kildegrim, there's two weapon shops. The first I'm going to talk about is Vigor's shop, I think it's Vigor, and he sells warhammers. Warhammers also give the strong component, so they're really useful. I usually buy down to steel for these because there's so many warhammers in his shop, thanks to the offhands. Secondly, we have Santiri's Quality Weapon Shop. This is in the northwestern side of Kildegrim, right up in the corner there, and it sells swords and a couple of bows. Shield bows drop the component you want, the strong component, so it's got a couple in there. While we're here, I'd just like to talk about the armor shop in Kildegrim. Kill two birds with one stone. He's also on the west side, and he sells a couple of chain bodies. So you can get black chain bodies up to Addy from steel. So I'd buy out all of those if I were you. The next place we travel to is Yatu's Sur. This requires some of the Fermonic quests to actually get to, but if you've done them, you can get a bunch of mithril items. Chain bodies, square shields, etc. So that's the armor shop, but also here there is a weapon shop. The weapon shop sells mithril items of various distinctions, Most importantly, they have two-hand swords, so that's really good, and warhammers. They're the ones you want to find, but you can buy out the others too because they're also useful. Everything's useful here. The final shop I'm going to show is Scarvo's Rune Store. This is a lot more expensive than the other places, but I thought I'd throw it in there just in case any high rollers come along, and it's located in the Champions Guild. This sells rune items, rune chain bodies, rune plate legs, plate skirts, all of those. So they can be useful if you're really looking for that final little bit of experience or materials. I hope you enjoyed this video, hope it was helpful. Leave a comment below if you know of any more stores or anything that would help. I'd be happy to make another video if I find enough, or annotate them, all that. So hit subscribe, leave a like. Thank you very much, guys. I really hope this helps.